And then those people lost everything. Because everybody looks at it as, you know, or it wants to be looked at like, you know, Moors are a threat. Or you don't want to be around the Moors because, oh, do you see Sidney Poitier? When he made the guy ride the mare of steel and all that, just because he wanted to prove to him that Allah is the greatest and all that? That's not what it's about. I mean, you got something?
Oh, I just wanted to add that it was S.A. Jordan, who was the guy who was sent by the Smithsonian Institute.
S.A. Jordan, yeah.
Yeah, he was the person, if anybody wants to look it up.
Well, in regards to the numbers that you had, the 7-11, 14, I think it's a very important reason why. So 7-11 to, like, okay, first of all, 7-11, you break down those numbers as 9. 1492, you break down those numbers as 7. And then 2012, you break down those numbers as 5. Now, between that, 7-11 to 1492 was 781 years. You break down those numbers, you get 7. 1492 to 2012, it's 520 years. Break down those numbers, you get 7. Those are the significance of the numerology when we speak on this, because it shows you that there's a direct correlation to why these things happened in these particular times. Remember, 2012 was when, quote unquote, the war was supposed to end, which it didn't. Well, which it did in terms of a timeline. And we're continuing that timeline now to start all over again. We're supposed to know now, because we're in the age of Aquarius, where you're supposed to know.
No.
If you don't know, well, it's too bad. You're supposed to know. It's just like when the sisters speak on the mental blockage that we have. It's they don't want to know. That's it. Yeah, it might be a blockage. Yeah, I could understand that, but they just don't want to know, because by knowing it is a responsibility now. And they don't want to do it. They just don't want to do it. Simple as that.
They also got things that they think is better that they got to go do.
Right.
Yeah, they don't want to.
Right. And the more people are vibrating mentally on these thoughts, the more stuff will change out there and the quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like we were talking about Tahuti, universal laws, one of them is, all is mental. All is mental.
So if all the Moors said they're going to focus every night at 9 p.m. to try and change the rest of the people's minds,
Yeah.
Change.
It can be changed.
that's what we should do.
It can be changed. And something like that doesn't have to be secluded to a particular time. We can say 24 hours a day, let's do that. 24 hours a day, let's put the energy out, since all is mental, that we want the people to gravitate to this information. Because we know that this is their only saving grace. We know that they've tried everything else and nothing worked. We know that they've never tried this. We know that all their leaders have told them, Declaration of Human Rights, we're going to go to the UN, blah, 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 and they talk like that, and then these people detach or disassociate from actually doing it, opposed to just talking about it. You know, we can talk about, yeah, we're gonna, you know, beat these guys to a pulp tomorrow when we play them. Until we play them, that's just lip service. And if you're talking big when you play, you better bust that ass or whatever. Because if you get it, these guys are doing windmills on you and stuff like that. You just killed your own stuff. Your stuff is done out there. You got something, Kenta?
Yeah, I just want to read something from this book that I came across. It's called The Outline of History by H.G. Wells, dealing with what you were talking about, Islam. So I'm just going to read a little, like a small paragraph. This is on page 273, I think, part 2. And if the reader entertains any delusions about a fine civilization, either Persian, Roman, Hellenic, or Egyptian, being submerged by this flood, the sooner he dismisses such ideas, the better. Islam prevailed because it was the best social and political order the time could offer. It prevailed because everywhere it found politically apathetic peoples, robbed, oppressed, bullied, uneducated, and unorganized. And it found selfish and unsounded governments out of touch with any people at all. It was the broadest, freshest, and cleanest political idea that had yet come into actual activity in the world. And it offered better terms than any other of the mass of mankind. The capitalistic and slaveholding system of the Roman Empire and the literature and culture and social tradition of Europe had altogether decayed and broken down before Islam arose. It was only when mankind lost faith in the sincerity of its representatives that Islam too began to decay. So yeah, just to just illustrate how Islam, what it did was it was a building tool as opposed to a destructive tool, because it encouraged people to cultivate their own, but at the same time build on the new teachings. And this is H.G. Wells, The Outline of History. I think first edition was in 1920.
Okay, so we'll just read a writing from Noble Drew Ali called What is Islam? Islam is a very simple faith. It requires man to recognize his duties toward God Allah, his creator, and his fellow creatures. It teaches the supreme duty of living at peace with one's surroundings. It is preeminently the religion of peace. The very name Islam means peace. For all the people who say Islam is bombing stuff and all that stuff, then clearly they're not Islam if they're doing acts of whatever against other human beings. The goal of man's life according to Islam is peace with everything, peace with Allah and peace with man. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, tells us that the final abode of man is the house peace, where no vain word or sinful discourse will be heard. The Holy Divine Prophet Noble Drew Ali says that a follower of Islam in the true sense of the word is one whose hands, tongue, and thoughts do not hurt others. The object of man's life according to Islam is the complete unfoldment. Islam teaches that man is born with unlimited capacities for progress. Islam does not support the idea that man was born in sin. It teaches that everyone has within him the seed of perfect development, and it rests solely on himself to make or mark his fortune. The cardinal doctrine of Islam is unity of the Father Allah, who we know as one God. Allah, who is all God, all mercy, all power, He is perfect and holy, all wisdom, all knowledge and truth. These are some of His great attributes, so first we can understand. He is free from all defects, holy and transcendent. He is personal to us in so far as we see His attributes working for us in what He is, nevertheless impersonal because He is infinite, perfect and holy. We know that death, decay, nor sleep overtakes Him, neither do we believe that He is a helpless cave, inert force. Nothing happens without His knowledge and will. He neither befits nor is He begotten, because these are the traits of a frail and weak humanity. This unity of Allah is the first and most pillar of Islam, and every other belief hangs upon it. So the object of man's life, according to Islam, is his complete unfoldment. Man, when there's a quote, when man unfolds, his God unfolds. So as man evolves into his higher self, the God within him is also going to evolve. And as that being starts evolving and coming into their self, they'll start gravitating to other beings who are evolving and coming into their self, and then that's how you have unity and nation and everybody on the same concept, one flag, one prophet, one holy book, one this, one that, and then there's no disagreements about everything because everybody realizes that this is what the foundation is. Everything else hangs upon that. This is why, you know, people who say Rastafarian, but they're not Moors. We're not hearing those people because we know Rastafarians who are Moors. They got nationality cards, right? They never turned away from Haile Selassie and all that. But they know that Noble Drew Ali is a prophet, though. They know that nationalities are today. They're not black, sovereign, whatever, like all these Rastafarians talk. They know that if we're going to say we're going to beat the drum or whatever like that, then we're using that to call ancestors to come do something. We're not just out there just beating the goddamn drum for 20 hours just because we could beat drums. Right? They're going to do something because they know that there's power in that, in doing that. It's not just some random cultural thing that we just do. It's actual spiritual application. You use the drum properly, you open vortexes and portals, and be able to pull stuff through to assist you on this realm. Because the drum does call them. But you also call the ones that, you know, are opposite the frequency, who also know the drum frequency, to know that there's a portal open, let's go over in there and cause some trouble on that realm over there.
Yeah, good and bad everywhere.
Good and bad everywhere,
That
on
is-
every plane.
That's more science.
That's what it is, right? So don't let people try to convince you that, you know what, more say Islam, so no, Islam is man unfolding into God. Anybody tell me Islam something different? More than likely, they're waiting for you to close your eyes and pray so they can take your head. And then take whatever else that you got after they got that. Right? This one was online. I'll pass this around so you can get the faces or whatever. Poor Freddie Gray having a black judge, black mayor, black district attorney, and black president still wasn't enough to get justice for his life. So black does not matter. That's why they classify the people as black by the quote-unquote yellow journalists that they say are news people, news reporters or whatever, right? They're propagandists. That's why dude on the streetcar got killed or whatever, and Amari with the streetcar, Yatin.
Yeah, your team, yeah.
Yeah. What were we talking about in the car with?
Yeah, basically, the individual that shot him, which was a Toronto police officer, he got 6 years. Now, I mean, just look at it, a team had a nationality. It came out, it already said it. The cop got 6 years. I said 2 weeks later, a brother got shot, and that cop got off. I mean, just draw your own conclusions if you want, but it's obvious that you cannot shoot a national and get away with it. You can't. Simple as that. It's not going to happen.